A suicide bomber blew himself up outside a packed Roman Catholic cathedral on Indonesia's Sulawesi Island during a Palm Sunday Mass. Police said that the explosion happened as two people tried to enter the church on the first day of Easter. According to the latest updates coming in, both the suicide bombers have been killed. According to the police, 14 people have been injured in the suspected suicide blast. The church's security guards reiterated the same statement. The blast happened by the church's side entrance, where one of the two suspects detonated explosives and died near the gate after being confronted by the guards. Footage from security cameras showed fire, smoke and debris being blown into the middle of the road.
Panas sama sebelah sini, tapi kebetulan kita lewat sebelah sini, terus kita tolong ibu dulu, yang terluka dia berlumuran darah tuh dong. Terus saya tahan orang, tolong, ini tolong dulu ke rumah sakit Corona dekat, tidak ada yang berani. Saya ke sini sedikit, pas depan Indomaret, ada pegawai Indomaret keluar, terus saya minta tolong ini dibawa ke rumah sakit karena ini darahnya sudah parah.
Meanwhile, the Indonesian president has strongly condemned the attacks. He called the attacks an act of terrorism and vowed to punish the perpetrators.
Terkait dengan kejadian aksi terorisme di pintu masuk Gereja Katedral Makassar hari ini, saya mengutuk keras aksi terorisme tersebut dan saya sudah memerintahkan Kapolri untuk mengusut tuntas jaringan-jaringan pelaku dan membongkar jaringan itu sampai ke akar-akarnya.
The attack has sent shockwaves across the world. Pope Francis remembered the victims of violence, especially those who got hurt in the suicide attack, and has appealed for peace.
Preghiamo per tutte le vittime della violenza, in particolare per quelle dell'attentato avvenuto questa mattina in Indonesia.
Churches have been targeted in the past by extremists in Indonesia, the world's biggest Muslim-majority nation. In 2018, dozens of people were killed in bomb attacks on churches and a police headquarters in the port city of Surabaya. Joining us on the broadcast this minute is Vandana Nanavani, a journalist from Jakarta. Hi Vandana, thanks very much for speaking with us. What do we know about the attacks so far and the sequence of events?
Yes, well, so far we know that the incident occurred at around 10:30 a.m. Sunday morning. Outside the Cathedral Church in Makassar. You know, that's the time where the Sunday Mass is going on. There was a Mass going on at the church at the moment, and there were two suicide bombers on a motorbike who tried to enter the vicinity of the church. But of course, as you mentioned, they were confronted by the guard. The guard, might have obviously thought they were quite suspicious, and so didn't allow them to enter the vicinity of the church. And so they detonated the explosives at the gate of the church. So it has been obviously now several hours since the incident occurred, and so far there has not been a follow-up attack and no casualties besides the two suicide bombers, and the 14 wounded victims are now in hospitals across Makassar, and of course their families and friends are there to look out for them. Now, as of now, the situation is pretty conducive. However, there is still tight security outside the Cathedral Church in Makassar, as well as other places of worship across Makassar. There's still the security is still pretty tight across. If we can anticipate for a follow-up attack, but so far there has not been any.
Vandana, if you can tell us more about the spot at which this attack took place and the area, and given that this is Palm Sunday that we are talking about, it marks the start of the Holy Week and leads to Easter. How many people were present at the church at that point?
Well, according to local reports, not many. So some actually did the masses online and some decided to come. Of course, we're still going through COVID-19, and so there are still restrictions, especially in places of worship. So there weren't many, luckily. However, I also want to mention that this is a similar incident has happened, which you did mention earlier, almost identical occurrence that happened back in 2018 in Surabaya. And there were suicide bombers as well, attacked a church as well, and it happened on a Monday as well. But since then, since that attack, I think security in places of worship, especially in minority religion worship, places of worship, security, I would say, has increased in terms of the number of guards employed, but it's clearly not enough for the same, occurrence to happen almost in the same way as in 2018.
Right, leaving it there for the moment. Vandana, thanks very much for joining us with those updates from Indonesia. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.